What if the question isn't how much money you can make as a coach, but how long are you willing to wait before you start? The timeline for making money as a coach has less to do with the market and more to do with what you believe is possible for somebody like you. And here's what I mean by that. Most aspiring coaches come to me asking the same questions.
How long until I get my first client? How long until I make real money? How long until this actually works?
And what they're really asking is, how long can I trust myself enough to believe this is really real? Because if somebody told you that you could make an additional $2,000 this month, would you believe them, or would you start making a list of all the reasons why this timeline doesn't work for you? Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you've been rocking with me for a while, welcome back. My name is Nick Scott. I am a high ticket sales and business coach from Her Income Edit, and you can find me here every single week dropping gems about the mindset, tools, and the strategy about what it takes not only to start your coaching business, but what it takes to sustain in this industry. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let's stay connected. So let's talk about the actual timeline it takes to start making money as a coach. And I'm about to give you an answer that most women probably don't want to hear. And the answer is you can make your first coaching income within the first 30 days of starting your coaching business. Sometimes you can make it within the first 2 weeks. Sometimes you can even make it within a week. And I know that might sound impossible because it might sound like it's too fast. But the women who are starting their businesses in this industry and they're making money quickly, their magic is no different than yours. They're just doing something that most aspiring coaches refuse to do. And that is they're starting before they feel ready. Most women spend, give or take, 6 months getting ready to launch their coaching business. They're out here building websites that they don't need. They're creating content that nobody asked for. They're busy designing logos, color palettes, and brand boards. Meanwhile, with someone with half their experience just got paid $1,000 for their first coaching offer.
But why does that happen, Nick?
I'm gonna tell you why it happens. It's because that coach, the one that I just described, had a conversation about what they could help someone with, and that someone said yes. The timeline for making money as a coach is not about how long it takes to build a perfect business. The timeline is about how long it takes you to have your first sales conversation, because that is the metric that matters. If you're watching this and you're thinking,
but I don't even know what to offer yet.
Don't worry, because I have something just for you. I created a free guide called 101 Ways to Rewrite Your Financial Story, and it's exactly what it sounds like. 101 different coaching businesses you can create based on the skills that you already have. Download it from the link down in the description and get started with just one idea. What I'm about to share next is going to completely shift your perception about what it takes to build coaching income. Now, earlier I said that you can make money as a coach within your first 30 days. But let me be very, very clear about what exactly might affect that timeline. The biggest factor in determining how quickly or how much money you make as a coach, it isn't your experience. It's not your credentials, and it's not even your offer. The biggest proximity is the distance between what people need and what you have to offer. Let me say that again because it's really, 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 really important. The distance between what people need and what you have is the biggest factor that impacts your timeline as a coach. If you already have a network of current or past colleagues who already know and trust your work, you can get your first client this week. If you have an audience on social media who knows your expertise, you can get a client this month. If you're starting cold with no network and no audience, it is going to take a little bit longer. And it's going to take longer not because your coaching doesn't work. It's going to take longer because relationships, and more importantly, trust, it takes time to build. The second thing that affects your timeline is your decision speed. How fast can you decide what you're selling? How fast can you decide what you're going to charge? How fast can you decide to start having sales conversations instead of waiting until you feel more ready? Women who make money quickly in this industry, they're not more talented, They're just more decisive. The market does not reward perfection. The market rewards speed and clarity. And the third thing that affects your timeline, it's whether you're treating your coaching business like an actual business or a hobby. A hobby is something that you do whenever you feel like it. A business is something you commit hours to every week, even when you're tired, even when life gets in the way, even when it's uncomfortable. 5 to 7 focused hours a week will get you paid faster than 40 hours of busy work. But those 5 to 7 hours a week need to be focused on income generating activities. Things like offer creation, sales conversations, and client delivery. Everything else, listen, everything else is a distraction until you start generating revenue. Now, I know some of you are thinking,
But I'm still working full time.
and somebody else might be thinking,
But I still have kids around the house. I don't have an extra 5 to 7 hours just sitting around.
and trust me, I get it because I have been there myself. And that's exactly why I'm talking about focus time, not free time. You're not going to be looking for time that doesn't exist. You're going to be protecting the time that you have and using it strategically. If this is resonating with you and you want more clarity on how you should be structuring your first 90 days, I have a free email course that walks you through exactly that. My email course is called the Skills to Income Blueprint. Every day for 5 days in a row, you'll get an email with one action item that's going to help you move your coaching business forward. If you want to enroll in the email course, the link is down in the description. Okay, so let's talk about what the timeline looks like when you're building a coaching business the right way. The first month is all about getting clear and getting in front of people. You're deciding what you're selling. You're deciding on what to price your offer. You're telling people that your business and your offer actually exists. And you're having sales conversations. Some women make $2,000 in the first month. Some women make $5,000 in the first month. And some women make $0 their first month because they spend too much time overthinking and not enough time selling. Your results in your first month, they entirely depend on whether or not you are comfortable being uncomfortable. Your second month, this is usually when things start to click. You've had a few sales conversations. Maybe you've signed a client or two. This is the part where you're starting to learn what resonates and what doesn't. In month 2, you're starting to refine your offer based on real feedback and not just you guessing and throwing noodles at a wall to see what sticks. During month 2, this is the time where most women start to realize that this can actually work. And it's not because their business changed, it's because their belief changed. Your income doesn't grow when your strategy gets better. Your income starts to grow when your belief catches up to your potential. By month 3, you're going to start to see momentum. You've delivered results, you've collected a few testimonials, and you have proof that what you're selling actually works. And this is the point where your sales conversations start to become easier. And these conversations become easier because at this point, you know you're not selling theory, you're selling evidence. By your 6th month, you should start seeing consistent income coming into your coaching business. Maybe it's $3,000 a month. Maybe it's $8,000 a month. Maybe it's $15,000 a month. The number depends on your offer, the pricing, and how many clients you're serving. But the real shift at 6 months is not about the money. Although, let's be clear, we want the money. The real shift that happens is that you stop questioning whether or not this is real. By this time, you have stopped doubting whether or not you're coaching material. And by the 6th month of doing this, you stopped waiting for permission. And that confidence, that belief that you have in yourself, that is the energy that's going to take you to 6 figures and beyond in this industry. Here's the thing though. I'm not saying that this is an easy industry to be in. I'm not saying that all of this is going to happen automatically. What I am saying is that all of this is possible. And the women who make it happen, they're not any more special than you. They're just committed. They commit to 5 to 7 hours a week. They commit to having uncomfortable conversations. They commit to pricing their offers at a premium instead of undercharging out of fear. They commit to staying in the game even when the first few months feel super slow. And if you're one of those women and you're ready to commit, but you just don't know quite where to get started, keep watching, because I'm about to show you how you can go from I think I can do this to getting paid $2,000 for coaching. Before I close this out, I want to address the biggest myth that I hear about what it takes and how long it takes to get paid as a coach. And that myth is you have to have an audience or build an audience before you can make money. And I want you to listen to me when I say what I'm about to say. That is a lie. And it's a lie that is keeping way too many women stuck for months, and for some women, even years. You don't need 10,000 followers to make $10,000. You do not need a massive email list to sign your first client. You don't need to go viral on TikTok to start building a 6-figure coaching business. What you need is one person to say yes, and then another 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 person to say yes after that. An audience really is just a nice to have and icing on the cake. But revenue coming into your business, that right there, that is a must-have. And in my experience, you can have revenue coming into your coaching business with the network that you already have. So if you're waiting to build your audience before you start selling, you're giving yourself a timeline that doesn't even exist. Here's a pro tip. Start selling now and build your audience while you're making money. All right, so hopefully by now you understand that the timeline that you can start making money as a coach is completely within your control. Not because you control the market, but because you control your actions. If you want to collapse that timeline, if you really want to get paid in the next 30 days, here's what I suggest. Stop trying to figure it out all on your own. Stop piecing together content from 47 different coaches who are saying 47 different things. My suggestion is that you get a framework that actually works. That's why I created my micro course 2K in 2 hours. It's a 20-minute training with 5 plug and play templates that show you how to package your existing skills into an offer that you can sell for $2,000 or more. You'll build your offer not in 6 weeks. You'll build your offer not after you have a website. You'll build your offer within 2 hours of focused work. All you have to do is go through the training, pick your template, price your offer, and after that, you'll be ready to start having sales conversations this week. The women who go through 2K in 2 hours, they're not waiting around hoping that somebody discovers them. They're making offers, they're having conversations, and they're getting paid. The link for 2K in 2 hours is down in the description. And here's the thing, the price for this micro course is significantly less than what you're going to spend on DoorDash this week. But what's within this micro course is the framework that can get you paid $2,000 or more this month. If you're still watching, I want you to know something. The question you should be asking is not how long it's going to take you to start making money as a coach. The question you should be asking is how long are you going to wait before you decide that it's the time for you to start. All right, y'all, if you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and share it with a friend who needs to hear it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.